At 12:16 in the morning on March 8, 2014, a Boeing 777 carrying 239 people says goodnight to air traffic control and then vanishes from the face of the earth. This is the story of Malaysia Airlines Flight 370, the greatest unsolved mystery in modern aviation history. Kuala Lumpur International Airport, March 7, 2014. Late evening, the terminal hums with the ordinary noise of travel. Families, business people, students with backpacks. Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 is a routine red-eye, scheduled to land in Beijing at 6:30 in the morning, a journey of just under 6 hours. At the controls is Captain Zaharia Ahmad Shah, 53 years old with over 18,000 hours of flight experience, a veteran of Malaysian skies. Beside him is First Officer Farik Abdul Hamid, just 27 years old, relatively new to the Boeing 777, on one of his final qualification flights before full certification. In the cabin behind them, 227 passengers, Chinese tourists, Malaysian families, a group of 20 Chinese artists returning from an exhibition, and a crew of 12. At 12:41 in the morning, Flight 370 lifts off from runway 32 right at KLIA, climbing smoothly into the dark Malaysian night. For the first 38 minutes, everything is perfectly normal. Routine radio calls, smooth cruising altitude, a standard flight track over the South China Sea. Then at 1:19 in the morning, Captain Zaharia transmits his final message to Kuala Lumpur Air Traffic Control. Good night, Malaysian 370. Those 8 words are the last confirmed communication from anyone aboard Flight 370. Less than 2 minutes later, at 1:21, the aircraft's transponder, the device that broadcasts the plane's identity and altitude to radar, goes completely silent. Flight 370 disappears from civilian radar. The plane, and all 239 souls aboard, simply ceases to exist on any screen. But here is where the story becomes even stranger. Military radar in Malaysia is still tracking the plane, and what it shows is almost impossible to believe. Instead of continuing northeast toward Beijing, the aircraft has turned sharply, banking west, then northwest, flying back across the Malaysian peninsula. The aircraft crosses back over Malaysia, over the Strait of Malacca, and then disappears from military radar as well, somewhere northwest, heading toward the Indian Ocean. That disappearance happens at 2:22 in the morning. By now, over an hour has passed since anyone last spoke to Flight 370, and no one yet knows the plane is missing. In Beijing, families are already waiting at the arrivals terminal. Some have been there for hours watching the board, expecting that familiar green landed notification. The green notification never comes. Malaysia Airlines officially declares the aircraft missing at 7:24 in the morning, nearly 6 hours after it vanished. Mid-roll. The search begins, and what follows is the largest, most expensive, most baffling search operation in the history of commercial aviation. In the first days, ships and aircraft from 26 nations fan out across the South China Sea, the area where the plane was last expected to be. They find nothing, because they are looking in the wrong place. Investigators then uncover a crucial piece of data. A British satellite company called Inmarsat had been receiving hourly automated electronic pings from the aircraft's satellite communication system. These pings, 7 of them, 1 per hour, allowed analysts to calculate a rough flight corridor. The last ping, received at 8:19 in the morning, placed the aircraft somewhere along a vast arc over the southern Indian Ocean. In other words, investigators now believe the plane flew for nearly 7 hours after disappearing from radar, all the way to one of the most remote, deepest, most unreachable stretches of ocean on the planet. The search pivots entirely. Australia takes over coordination of the maritime search, and the scale becomes almost incomprehensible. 120,000 square kilometers of ocean floor is eventually scanned, an area roughly the size of the entire state of Pennsylvania, using underwater autonomous vehicles and towed sonar systems. The main wreckage is never found. Then in July of 2015, 16 months after the disappearance, a piece of airplane wing washes up on the beach at Réunion Island, a remote French territory in the western Indian Ocean. Investigators confirm it. A flaperon, a movable surface from the trailing edge of a Boeing 777 wing belonging to Flight 370. Over the following years, more debris surfaces washed up on the beaches of Mozambique, South Africa, Madagascar, Tanzania, all consistent with a Boeing 777. The ocean tells investigators something, but not enough. The debris confirms the plane entered the Indian Ocean. It tells them almost nothing about why. So what happened? After more than a decade, 4 major investigations, and hundreds of millions of dollars spent, investigators have produced no definitive answer. But there are theories. One theory centers on a catastrophic mechanical failure, a rapid decompression event that incapacitated or killed everyone on board, leaving the aircraft to fly on autopilot until it ran out of fuel. Proponents of this theory point to the smooth, deliberate turns and the steady altitude maintained after the transponder went silent. Behavior consistent with an aircraft on autopilot, not under active human control. A second theory involves deliberate action by someone in the cockpit. Investigators confirm the flight path changes required sophisticated knowledge of the aircraft's navigation systems. Some investigators have pointed to Captain Zahari Ahmad Shah, citing a flight simulation found on his home computer that modeled a similar route into the southern Indian Ocean. His family and colleagues have strongly disputed any such conclusions. A third theory involves hijacking by passengers, crew, or a third party. 2 passengers were traveling on stolen passports, a fact that briefly inflamed global media, though investigators found no terrorism link. Then there are the families, 239 sets of them, who have lived in a particular kind of suspended grief for over a decade. No confirmed death, no wreckage, no answers. In 2023, a private American company called Ocean Infinity announced plans to resume the deep-sea search, this time using a fleet of autonomous underwater vehicles to cover even more ground. As of today, Flight 370 remains officially unsolved. The black boxes, the flight data recorder, and cockpit voice recorder have never been recovered. Without the black boxes, investigators cannot know what happened in that cockpit, what was said, what was felt, or who made the decisions that sent 239 people into the most remote darkness on Earth. The southern Indian Ocean is, in places, over 4 miles deep. The search zone is roughly the size of Western Europe, and out there, somewhere, a Boeing 777, and the answers to all of these questions may still be resting on the ocean floor. For over 10 years, the families of the 239 people aboard Flight 370 have waited, not for closure, which feels impossibly distant, but simply for the truth. Good night, Malaysian 370. 8 words, a routine goodbye, and then nothing. A mystery that swallowed 239 lives whole and has refused, for over a decade, to give them back. If you found this story as haunting as I do, subscribe. We cover the case's history left unfinished. And if you want to go deeper, our video on the Dyatlov Pass incident is waiting for you right now.